So now as we go into tournament management going forward, I want to embolden you and understand the power that you have. Where we really want to do is we really want to start capturing player data. Because if they're playing in your at your golf course, 3 times a year, you want to let them know that, hey, and this will get more sophisticated. You want to let them know, hey, you can join here, or talk to John about joining or whatever that case may be. But you want them to be part of your community. The data that those folks have is almost as valuable. I swear to God, if you start following these through, it's almost as valuable as a green fee. It really, really is. You just have to know how to apply the data. Okay, so TM rounds in 2019. Yankee Trace leads the way at 14,000, NCR is at 11, Walnut Grove is at 10. So, I mean, this is probably, what are you guys doing, 32, 35,000 rounds of Walnut Grove? Are you that much? So you're probably doing at least a third, if not 3/5. I mean, 2/5 of your rounds go through Golf Genius, right? Yeah. Okay. We're creating an experience. This is important. We need to have people realize that this is an experience. All right. Sycamore Creek's at 9. Troy's at 6. That's got to be almost half your rounds. Yeah. All right. CCN's at 5. Sugar Valley's at 4.6. Madden's at 4.5. This is a great example of empowering your community. Because I can tell you that the staff at Madden doesn't necessarily do this. It's the different admin people and the different rights that they assign to different people. So you don't have to do all the lift yourself. You can assign it to other people. Each event can have an admin person to it. One of the things that we have decided to do, simply because it's just not that expensive for us to do it, because right now we only have 4 clubs on premium, is we decided to essentially pay for the upgrade. So anytime you hit help, it goes straight to their resources to support it. And why that's better. They know the event you're on. So let's say that you would call me. I don't know the event you're on. All right? I don't know the page you're on. Now, I could possibly get in there and find it, and I'm sure I probably could. But it's not what I do every day. All right? There's a wonderful knowledge base. There's contact information, and there's training videos in there. So there's all kinds of ways to teach you to fish. This is important. Most important habit in tournament management. All right. You've got to do a random score. You've got to do all the event to the end. Got to do it. If you don't do it, you're going to make mistakes because you're not going to understand all the connections. All right. Do this before your first group gets there. All right. Got to do it. All right. So one of the things that we did this year that I think will work on your GEN system that we provide is the rules of golf in 2019 allowed certification in any form or function. Okay, it's whatever the committee determined. All right, so we have a lot of shotguns and we have a lot of team events. All right, so what essentially we did is we would travel with 2 TVs and 2 little computers on the back, not dissimilar to essentially your GEN kiosk now. And we would set up a couple little tables, and they would come up, and they would post their score on using the mobile app. Again, it's about 70–75%. We could force more of it, but again, I'm not sure that's really what we want to do. It will get better, okay? They would come up, you would pop open that area, they would check to see if it's all right, and then they would hit this little button down on the bottom, actually right here, so that they mark the score checked, has been double checked, and whatever the case may be. So then, essentially what we do is 45 minutes after the last scorecard, 45 minutes after the first 18th hole score has been posted, is when we say, okay, we're done. All right, and that's a clean line. So whatever's in the system at that point is certified. It works great for a lot of these little shotguns that we have. Now, you're still going to have issues. I'm not going to say that it's not. We've had skins that we've had to redo because they forget a hole and they put par 3 scores on a par 5, and all that kind of stuff happens. But you can really get there. You can get there. And there will be more certification coming down the road. And what I've seen now is more built for individual stroke by stroke competition. And frankly, we only run 8 or 9 events that are just 18 hole or 36 or 72 hole stroke play events. I can't imagine you would do many more than that. You know, maybe your club championship and stuff like that. But this is a great way to do things. Okay, I'm going to call on Matt Dooley. Matt, would you mind coming up for a bit? So why don't you talk through a little bit what you do with your simulators?
We predetermine what courses we're going to use. We have to build in the courses, the handicap, all that stuff. I don't know if you haven't done that. You have to go in there, edit course, and build everything in there. From there, we just go ahead and assign. You know, week one's going to be, let's say that's at Barton Creek. I can't read it. Next week will be Gallery North. So we'll go through there, add everything in there, and really, I mean, it's pretty much if you use Golf Genius now, it's basically like running a regular. Okay. I mean, all we do is just have to fill out a scorecard, put the scores in each week.
Okay.
But right now, I mean, simulator leagues, we have, one league has 12 guys in it, one has 10 guys. It's a great way to get guys at the golf course this time of year because, you know, today's nice, but tomorrow could be not very good. But we keep them involved in our leagues, involved at the golf course. So, I mean, it's a great way if you have them to keep guys coming.
From a league standpoint, they don't play on the same day, right?
No, that's the beauty of having simulator leagues. They don't have to play the same course conditions because it's all manufactured. So they all have the same hole locations, same, you know, same hardness. You can make the greens however you want. Some of the night leagues, we do have them play on the same night just to get the guys in there so they can play together. But we have a senior men's league that they can play anytime Monday through Thursday before 2 o'clock. They just have to come by, come out. I mean, it takes basically about a half an hour for one guy to play 9 holes by himself, if that. So, I mean, it's pretty open for that.
So realize that your customer, anybody can create a web page, so every event has a web page. All right, it has a separate URL if you want to brand it for that particular event. This is all built in. This is not something, and this is not for just the premium. This is for the non-premium as well. Okay, do anything you want. Clearly, there's some programming dynamics to it. If you know you're at a club that has HTML specifics, you can make it look very similar to what your current page looks like. You can iframe it so it can be within your website. You get all kinds of options to make this look right for whatever you're trying to do. Clearly, you got sponsor dynamics. All these kind of things can rotate and move through. So you also have that on the mobile app. So it's another value proposition for your group event. You know, if you put the logo up between holes when you do scoring, it's going to be there so they can see that. Now, it's probably not going to replace a T sign, but it's going to be close. And a few years from now, it might.
Basically, we make a web page for every single league we do. Our senior men's league is the biggest league we have. We average over 100 players each week in that league. What we try to do, we have different tabs up here. It's kind of blurry, but we have an information section, a register here. Make your own tee times here, which is very nice, so we don't have to deal with that. Results section, stats, and foursome listing. On our information page, we try to just put all the basic information that they need to know right there. Okay, so you know the dates, the course rotations, tee times, all that. Also on the information page, we'll put the league games, what's going on each week. That way, the more they can go here, the less they have to call us.
All these kind of things are there. Mobile TV leaderboards. Think about what they can do just being able to have it in the bar. They're going to be there much longer. You know, most everybody's leaderboard is outside, and you got to set up a bar to do that. Integrations with Cub systems. There is some of the integration dynamic from the tee sheet to the point of sale system. Golf Now is, I think, starting the conversation about that. So what Matt does a lot of times is he has to go back through and make sure that the systems talk. So there's a lift there. Trip management, I've got a couple things, and then obviously this open tee time feature. All right. So obviously we talked about text management. I think a lot of you have probably seen this from time to time. Again, you get done with a round for the member guest, you text their specific time for the next day. All these fields are able to go in there. You know, there's all kinds of things for the text. It's easy. You can save templates. I have templates that I use for when play is suspended, all those kind of things. Custom fields, you can pretty much tell them whatever you would like. And golfers clearly can opt out, just like any other text scenario. Okay, mobile app, we've seen a little bit of this. Again, there's a play. This is also a way down the road that you're going to know where people are on the golf course. You don't necessarily have to have it tied into the golf course and golf carts. And if you have a lot of walking, that makes a lot of sense. And it's all based on a GGID. I think some of you are familiar with a scorecard. So this is for the individual group. This is for the individual round. And then that's also for the event itself. So there's 3 different ways to identify those screens. All right. Download it. Obviously, it's there. The way the scoring works is essentially it pops open and you can go back and forth. Pretty easy. Then printed materials. Realize that you can do, this is kind of an antiquated looking scorecard, but you've got all those options, cart signs. So all this is in there. It's fully customizable. There's so much power. Again, okay, open registration. All these kind of things can happen. Your member guests, your walking, your caddies. You set all these kind of things up. It's all there. Again, there is a lift to this. There's a lift to this, and we are not IT professionals, nor will we ever be. So you have a bunch of open registration components. There's so many good things. Optional step for credits, sponsor packages, integration with club systems. Again, you can put these in and out of your web pages depending upon what you're using, iframes. Trip management. This is something that we don't take advantage of. This is actually why Golf Genius was invented, to manage trips. And there's a way to track expenses, who paid for what bottle of wine, how, and this is all done through the app. Kind of to wrap things up, it's a cloud-based system, website for each event, TV leaderboards, live scoring for premium. If you don't have premium and you just do club, you still have scoring, it's just you have to refresh it. All right? Or when you're done with the event, you just go in there and pop it up. So you just don't have anything that they can review as all the scorecards are coming in. And frankly, for some of the shotguns that we're doing, it doesn't matter. You just want it at the end of the day anyhow. Event managers, clearly, they update it all the time, and this knowledge base is exceptional. You just got to get used to living in that world.